to the big event tonight, the debate between the two candidates for New Jersey's next governor, Micah Sherrill and Jack Ciattarelli, facing off right here on Channel 7.
All right, so ahead of the debate, we want to take a closer look at the two candidates. Joining us right now is Micah Rasmussen, the director of the Rebovich Institute for New Jersey Politics. Micah, so glad you're with us this morning because this has certainly captured the nation, I think, as we're talking about New Jersey politics. So the polls show that Micah Sherrill is ahead. The race is tightening, had a big lead at one point. So what do the candidates need to do tonight?
It's a really good question because this is the last time they're going to match up face to face before the election. From here on out, it's all advertising. It's all the ads that you see on TV. So they know this is the last chance to really put their opponents in a box. And so in the case of Micah Sherrill, she's going to be talking about the particular harms of President Trump's policies and shutdown and the Gateway Tunnel to New Jersey. She's going to be trying to tie Jack Ciattarelli to those unpopular policies. And in the case of Jack Ciattarelli, he's going to be talking again about her military record that he's been harping on and driving home. And also, he's going to try and distinguish himself from what she's been saying on sales tax, electricity prices, the cost of affordability in New Jersey in general. He's going to be making the case against the incumbent party that's had the governor's seat for the last 8 years.
Okay, so you just mentioned it. You talked about Jack Ciattarelli attacking Micah Sherrill about that military record. And that's become a flashpoint in this campaign, certainly. And now she's threatening a lawsuit because of the release of those records. How is that going to play out, you think, at this debate?
Well, I think she has succeeded in turning the public's attention toward the improper release of her records. That's really been the story, much more than the cheating scandal that happened across Annapolis when she was a student. So I think she's gotten the better of this story so far. But Ciattarelli is going to try and pin her down. He's going to look for answers. He's going to try and point out, you haven't talked about this at length. And so he's going to be looking to try and get her off of this talking point about her record and more about what happened in Annapolis.
Now, the economy is on the top of mind for New Jersey voters.
Absolutely.
I live in New Jersey. You know, I was told, oh, Jersey's a state you move to if you want to save money, but it continues to tick up the cost of living there. So this is going to be critical for them to address, I would imagine. Both candidates will do that tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're going to be everything from electricity to grocery prices to taxes to the cost of housing in New Jersey. You're absolutely right. Maybe it is a bargain compared to across the river, but that doesn't mean that people here view it as any more affordable. They are certainly contending with a very high cost state, one of the highest cost states. And the question is, what are they going to do about it? Sherrill has talked about freezing electricity rates, and Jack Ciattarelli has said that's not feasible, that's not going to happen. So I'm sure you're going to be hearing more about their respective plans to deal with this affordability crisis.
Yeah, everybody cares what we pay to live in a
100%.
state. So there is one name that kind of looms heavy over just about every election right now, and it's President Trump. So what's his footprint in this election? How do they work around that?
Well, Ciattarelli is doing his best to not have it be the footprint that determines this election. He'd rather you pay attention to very local issues. He's trying to localize the race. Sherrill knows that he is very unpopular right now in New Jersey, as he is in many northeastern states, and so she would like to make this election a referendum on Trump, the first midterm state. The party that has the White House has had trouble in New Jersey defending the White House in that year following when we have our governor's races. Typically, they struggle. And this was an advantage that Ciattarelli had the last time. He was attacking an unpopular Biden White House. This time, he's got to defend an unpopular Trump White House.
Okay, Micah, this is obviously an off-year election, right? But is it going to give us a little preview of what is to come for the midterms next year?
It will inevitably be read that way.
Yeah.
There's no question that Democrats, if they win this race, are going to say that they have the wind at their backs. If Republicans manage to pull off a win in New Jersey, in blue New Jersey, they're going to be crowing about it, and they're going to think they've got momentum on their side going into next year. The reality is a little more nuanced, as you pointed out in your question. The electorate's fundamentally different in New Jersey. We're going to have about 40% turnout, much different than federal races or national races. And so the people who participate in this election are going to be not as high propensity as federal elections are. And so that's really something that the parties and the campaigns are going to have to struggle with. How do they get voters out who might not normally come out in this off-year state election?
And Mike, a really quick point I want to mention here. I see right over your shoulder, you have a Jack pin, a Jack Ciattarelli pin. You have a bunch of different pins, just so we can clarify for our viewers at home.
I do, and you know what? It's not an advantage. This is not playing any favorite. I haven't gotten this year's race up yet, but this is every nominee dating back to the beginning of pins in political campaigns, 1895. So I've got to do this year's race. He was the nominee last time, so that's why he's up on my board. And the problem is campaigns are not even doing pins as much as they did in the past. And so I've really got to struggle to find the two nominees for this year in their pins.
Yeah, well, we appreciate, the dedication.
I'm
and the
impressed
hard
with
work.
your eyesight. Eagle eye.
Just right there. It's right over your shoulder there.
Right.
So, yeah, right there. That's where we're able to find it. But we do appreciate that and giving us insight into this, what this means for New Jerseyans, as well as the rest of the country. Micah Rasmussen, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I know you'll be watching our debate coverage, which kicks off at 6:30 on ABC-7NY. Mike Mars and Sade Baranois will anchor our special countdown to the debate. And then at 7 p.m., it's going to be the debate, co-moderated by Bill Ritter and Tam Edwards from WPVI right here on Channel 7. And then right after, Sade and Mike will return for complete analysis and reaction to it.
Look, I couldn't see the pin, but I will see you at 7 p.m.